Very good evening, everyone. I am Israt Sharmin Kia, and welcome you all to the third episode of Studying Abroad 101, hosted by the Daily Star and Standard Chartered Bank. In this series of sessions, we bring experts specialized in guiding aspiring students who aim to pursue undergrad or higher studies abroad. We are going to have these very insightful conversations about the steps, procedures, and important aspects of studying in Canadian universities between the guests and the students. Before diving into the conversation, let's have a look into one of the most important components, which is Student File offered by Standard Chartered Bank. That was a very informative AV. Um, Before now, I would like to give a heads up to the audience who joined us that you can ask questions directly to our panelists through the comment section. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce our today's amazing guest panel. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Kazi Ghulam Farhad, Trade Commissioner, High Commission of Canada. Hello, Bhaiya. Thank you for joining us. Bhaiya, you are muted.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I would like to invite Mr. Rahul Masih, International Procurement Manager, India Asia, Canberra University. Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
good
Rahul.
evening, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And then we have a Standard Chartered Bank representative, Ms. Cynthia Farhad Bosha. Thank you, Boshapu, for joining us. Apu, you are muted, I think.
Am I audible right now?
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for.
We'll get back to you
Thank you for
later.
having me.
Now, finally, we have Mr. Saadullah Al Amin, who is currently doing his master's in public health at University of Alberta.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Saadullah. And on another note, we have two aspiring students among us who are going to participate in the question answer session with Mr. Saad. So one is Evita Devnath and the other one is Muktasim Anjum.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Evita and Muktasim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Moving forward, I would like to start our today's segment, that is the question answer session with the students with Mr. Saad. So first, I would like to call Evita. You can go ahead with your questions with Mr. Saad, and the floor is yours.
I think you should.
Very sorry. They're sad. My first question to you is: when do you think a student should start taking preparation for overseas study?
Thank you, Evita, for your question. I believe applying to a university overseas is a time-consuming process. Ideally, one should consider preparing for it while they're in their university or college, because in that time they can get time for their extracurricular activities, and they can gradually step up in their leadership roles in those extracurricular activities. These type of activities are highly appreciated, especially for scholarships. But those who are already came across their university and college, they can focus on the program requirement themselves, and does the program require GRE or and IELTS, and what other subjects does the program require, and take their focus on those specific subjects. And I believe it's if one takes 1 year time or so, they can they can get done with their GRE and IELTS.
Thank you for answering my question. I would like to go forward with my next question. So, how should a student select an educational institution? What do you think should be the criteria?
Yeah, the educational institution selection depends on many criterias, but to make it more specific, you can ask yourself few questions like, what subjects are you really interested in, and what your academic career support that you should pursue that career or not. So once you have selected the program you want to apply in, then you can make search for locations that are renowned for that subject or program. Like, is it US, UK, or Canada? Whatever location you prefer, you go search the universities there. But one mistake I see a lot of people make is they search for the university's ranking and overall ranking in QS ranking. But if you go further into the website, you can see there is a link for subject specific ranking of the university. I believe if you can look up the subject specific ranking of the universities, it will give you much better idea which universities are better for the program you have selected. So that's one way of ranking the universities you want to apply in.
Thank you. So I think we have one last question. So the question is, if you have any tips on writing essay and taking recommendation letter.
Yes, that's a very, very common question. But for by essay, I think you mean the statement of purpose or
Yes,
SOP. Yeah.
yes.
So the SOP, it's quite hard to write because it's very hard to write on blank paper and you know nothing about. And everyone is saying like you can't copy from others, and that's a general rule. You cannot copy, and you do not want to copy from others. So what can you do to focus your essay writing? You can ask yourself a few questions again, like so far what have you done in your academic career, like that will answer who are you for academically or professionally. So that's one answer you want to answer. And then you must answer why are you choosing this program that you are applying into, and why have you selected the specific university that you applied into. Like you can say the faculties, you like the faculties there and things like that. And beside that, what are your future career plans? Why, after you finish your program, what would you like to do in your career? So these type of questions are the main focus of the SOP, and universities try to learn about you, why you want to do this program, how this program will help you, and these type of answers, and also your main research interest and goals, research goals. Those are the specific questions they are looking answer to. That's what I believe.
Thank you, Mr. Saad, for your insight on this.
Thank you.
That was really very insightful. And moving forward, I would like to invite another aspiring student who is looking forward to get into Canadian University, who is Mubtasim Anjum. Mubtasim, are you here? Hi, Mubtasim. You can go ahead with your questions with Mr. Saad Ulami. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the platform. My first question is, does it require making any payments to institution for applying?
Yes, most of the almost all of the universities take some form of application fee for their services or process the for the processing of the applications, and it's about $100 to $150. It varies from universities to universities. Some universities may offer waiver to the third world nations, but uh, there are very few universities that currently offering waiver. But you can also email the grad office to see if there is any of a waiver available or not.
Oh, thank you. And I have another question, which is, how is your experience so far? Can you tell us about one prepared themselves before applying for a scholarship?
Thank you for asking that, but uh, unfortunately, I have not experienced the university life here because since we started due to the COVID, it's been in lockdown and we're doing the online classes, so there are very less interaction there, and that's why my uh, experience so far has not been so good. But I'm hopeful because I'm hearing that since next fall the campus will reopen and we can do live classes, so there will be much more face-to-face interaction with the professor and my peers.
Oh,
And on regards to your next question, how can one prepare themselves for applying for a scholarship? Unfortunately, in Canada, the scholarship options are much less in comparison to US or UK, especially in the field I am in, public health field. Especially in the public health field, the scholarship opportunities are very less. We try to make our funding by applying to the professors. If they have their project funding available, we try to be their research assistant, and that's how it's done. For me, fortunately, my professor nominated for internal scholarship of the university, and fortunately I got that scholarship as well.
oh. Thank you, Bea. It was very insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saad Bhaiya, for your very insightful conversation with the students. Hopefully, this will actually guide them to the right way they are looking forward to.
Thank you so
Now,
much, Kira, for having me.
I would like to invite the Standard Chartered Bank representative, Miss Cynthia Farhad Borsha. I would like to have a conversation with Borsha Apu. I have some questions for her actually. So, so Borsha Apu, can you? Am I audible to you?
Yes. How are you doing, Kia?
All right, I'm fine, Hapu. I hope you are doing well too. I'm glad to have you here in today's session. So, if I may move forward with my questions to you. So, my
Please,
first question
please.
to you, Apu, is what is a student file? Can you explain a bit more? Apu, could you hear my question or should I repeat?
Please repeat it because I was dropped off, so I couldn't hear the question.
Okay, no worries. So my first question to you is, what is a student file? Could you explain a bit more about it?
Sure. Thank you so much for the question, Kia. Before moving into answering it, let me just briefly introduce myself. As you rightly said, I'm Cynthia Farhad Borsha, working in Standard Chartered Bank for last 4 years and looking after student file portfolio. And it has given me the opportunity to work very closely with with the aspiring students who are basically trying to build their career by going into some foreign country, and they're the one who are actually the future nation builders. So I really feel honored that I'm being able to work with them. Now, moving into answering your question, what is student file? Student file is basically a very beautifully designed solution and the only legal channel through which a student can send foreign currency for the purpose of paying tuition fees or living expense when he or she is moving to another country for higher studies. So when it comes to foreign currency, these things are very much regulated in our country. If you consider sending some foreign currency out of the country or bringing something inside the country, these things are very regulated. So what our authority, the regulators, thought that they tried to make it a very simple process, and they involve the banks into in with them so that they can work alone. So what we are doing is we are currently taking all the documents from customers. As the students, we are validating the transaction based on the guideline given by the authorities and align with the documentation provided by the students, and trying to process the payments that will help them to have a smoother journey when they are out of the country. So basically, that is student file.
Thank you for the answer. And my second question to you is,
Yes.
when is the right time to open a student file?
The right time of opening student file would be the moment the student has accepted an offer letter from an university, because usually what happens, institutions give a timeline within which they need to have a payment for secure the seat for the student. So as soon as possible the student has decided to go into a certain institution, they should open a student file and send the fund. However, a student file is a very simple and very student friendly solution. It also has provision of opening a student file even when the student is actually outside of the country and they have started their education in a foreign institution. At that point of time, if they feel the necessity of bringing some fund out of Bangladesh, they can open student file as well. But as I mentioned earlier, the proper time would be as soon as possible, because I always give this example, because whenever we are trying to go for a vacation, we pre-book our tickets and our hotel booking so that we can plan for our journey and have an enjoyable trip. So this is exactly the same thing.
Understandable. And my third question to you is,
Yes.
what are some of the other things that could help in the overseas experience?
Well, there are a lot of things that can enhance the journey for the students and their parents. If I'd like to show a slide here. If I can have the slides with us. Uh, to start with, to begin with, Standard Chartered Bank is the pioneer bank who actually started working with student file for the first time in Bangladesh. Can you please move into the third slide, please? So, as per our journey, within the journey, with our experience, what we have learned that there are some important criteria that are very much essential for having a smooth educational journey outside of the country. So the number one would be the fastest way of transferring your fund. So Standard Chartered Bangladesh is a global brand. We are a multinational bank, and we have a strong network presence all over the world. So we are using our strong network presence, and we are ensuring that we are the one who are transferring the fund for the students to any educational institution out of this country. And no other bank can do it better, faster than we do. So there is that. Then coming to the second point, we have some financial propositions or financial products which will be very much important for students and their parents, like higher study that is even in outside of the country, it's a very expensive proposition. So the parents or the students might feel the necessity of getting a support from the bank or financial support from the bank. So to loosen up some burden from them, we have our personal loan facility, we have our overdraft facility. So parents can take this sort of loans, and they can easily finance the students' financial requirement at the very beginning of the journey or in between of the journey. If there is a unplanned financial requirement that comes up, like during COVID period, there was several of incidents that we saw when the living expenses were exhausted and students need to take some extra fund from Bangladesh. So at those kind of situations, these kind of products, the personal loan, overdraft facilities, these can help students a lot and the parents a lot. We also have our credit cards facility, the supplementary credit card. When students move to a new country, at the very beginning, they are not being able to open an account. So in that time period, that transition, when that transition is going on, they can take a supplementary card from us. They can endorse their travel limit in the supplementary card, and they can easily pay off their day-to-day expenses with that supplementary card. Now, moving on to the third point, that's a very interesting one. Usually what happens, the young people, the students, they usually don't have any accounts of themselves. When I was at their age, I also didn't have my own account. So, but when they're moving outside of the country, they must open an account on their own name so that the living expenditure can be transferred to that account. So in these cases, what we have done is we have prepared some accounts specifically for students and young people, like graduate account, early child savers account, school banking account. So if a student has exposure to these kind of accounts on the very early stage of their life, they already have the banking literacy. They already know the banking knowledge that is required to open an account, operate an account, how to operate a debit card. These kind of things they are already aware of. So when they are in a foreign country, dealing with lots of new things, learning lots of new things, relearning lots of new things, one aspect that how to open a bank account and operate your debit card and pay your daily expenditure won't be one of the challenges they need to face. So these are some areas where we are trying to focus on with our student file proposition. And apart from this, we have dedicated student file center in our Gulshan branch and our Dhanmondi branch. We have dedicated email address where students can contact with us. They can also visit our branches, any branches, for contacting with us. So we have this kind of support going on for students with their parents. Over to you, Kea.
Thank you so much, Apu. That's a lot of opportunities providing all along with the student file profile. I hope students will find them helpful enough for their academic journey in future.
Thank you.
Now, moving forward, I would like to invite Mr. Kazi Ghulam Farhad, Trade Commissioner, High Commission of Canada, to have a conversation with me.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Bhaiya. I have some questions for you if you would like me to go forward with a question.
Absolutely. Please go forward. Thank you.
Okay, so my question to you is first question to you is what role does the embassy play in helping Bangladeshi students in finding a scholarship?
Thank you, Kaya. Thanks a lot for this question, and good evening, everyone. Uh, this is Kazi from the Canadian High Commission. I'm the Trade Commissioner for Education over there. And thanks a lot to Daily Star and the Standard Chartered Bank for arranging this event tonight and having us here. So to answer your question, Kaya, Global Affairs Canada's Trade Commissioner Service supports Canada's international education stakeholders in attracting talent, exporting Canada's world-class educational services, and fostering partnerships with foreign education sector stakeholders. As a part of this work, Global Efforts Canada funds, manages, and promotes scholarships opportunities for international students, researchers, and faculty to study or conduct research in Canada. Again, Global Effort Canada's goal is offering federal government scholarship is to foster people-to-people relationship between our country and respective bilateral counterparts such as Bangladesh, to develop global citizens, nurture leaders, and contribute to the development of nations. The High Commission of Canada to Bangladesh provides information to Bangladeshi students about the available federal scholarships offered by the Global Affairs Canada. In line with Canada's international education strategy, which is 2019 to 2024, we are working to diversify the countries from which international students can come to Canada, as well as their fields of study, levels of study, and location of study within Canada. As a part of Canada's diversification efforts, Global Affairs Canada launched the Study in Canada Scholarship $5 million over 5 years, which provides short-term exchange opportunities for study or research in Canadian post-secondary institutions at the college, undergrad, and graduate levels. Bangladeshi students are eligible to apply for this scholarship. To learn about the scholarship opportunities for international students to study, conduct research, or professional development in Canada, students can visit www.educanada.ca/scholarships-burses. On this website, students will find numerous hours for international students and scholars in Canada. These hours are offered by Canadian government, foreign governments, non-government organizations, and international organizations. Let me get back to you give you the website again. It's www.educanada.ca/scholarships-burses. Thank you.
That's wonderful, Bhaiya. My next question to you is are the students able to go to Canada during this pandemic?
Thank you, Claire. This is a very timely question. Presently, students who are eligible to travel to Canada may do so to start a study program or to complete a program already initiated as an international student. As of July 5, 2021, fully vaccinated travelers who are permitted to enter Canada may be exempt from some federal quarantine and testing requirements. These new measures apply to international students too, who have a valid study permit, who has tested negative for COVID-19 upon arrival in Canada, are fully vaccinated with Government of Canada approved vaccines at least 14 days prior to enter Canada, will be attending a designated learning institute DLI with an approved COVID-19 readiness plan, with all other entry requirements for fully vaccinated travelers from Canada Border Services Agency. Starting from August 9, 2021, travelers entering Canada by air, including international students, will no longer be required to stay in a government authorized hotel when arriving in Canada. All travelers must still come prepared with a quarantine plan in case quarantining is required. Finally, the Government of Canada continues to modify and update border entry procedures and policies as changes occur to ensure that you have the most up-to-date information. We advise that you regularly consult the COVID-19 info page on the educanada.ca for further details. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer, Bhaiya. And my last question to you is why would students choose to go to study in Canada? What is your perspective on this?
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Kia, for this question. Because students have a lot of different criteria, but we have something to share from our side as well. So Canada is one of the most multicultural countries in the world, with world-class universities and providing high-quality education, an open, welcoming, inclusive, and diverse society, an universal healthcare system, and clean and friendly cities. In addition, Canada ranks number one worldwide for the best quality of life as per the best countries for education, according to US News and World Report 2021. Cost of living in Canada are competitive when it comes with another top ranking destinations for studying abroad. Canada is a world leader in post-secondary research, outpacing most G7 countries on overall investment in research and development. Canada also spends more per post-secondary student than almost all of the OECD countries. Then Canadian secondary school and post-secondary institutions are consistently recognized in top international rankings, and Canadian students repeatedly score well on international tests. The highly qualified educators and field-leading professors have created a learning environment that nurtures creativity and intellectual development. In Canada, post-secondary education is the responsibility of provincial and territorial governments. Each province and territory has its own laws, policies, and quality assurance mechanisms that are used concurrently to ensure quality in the country's wide range of post-secondary institutions. Post-secondary institutions in Canada issues degrees, diplomas, certificates depending on the nature of those institutions and the length of the program. At universities, there is an emphasis on degree program. Colleges, institutes, polytechnics, and all other institutes offer a broad range of credentials, from diplomas and certificates to degree and postgraduate programs. Many colleges and institutes offer degrees that range from 2-year associate degrees, from 3-year to 4-year bachelor's, and 4-year applied bachelor's degrees as well. Canadian post-secondary institutions offer excellent facilities, from wired libraries and high-quality sports facilities to public concert halls and art galleries. And in addition to that, Canada's commitment to innovative and universal education has made it definitely a leader in online learning and distance education. Nearly all Canadian institutions, whether at the college or the university level, has adopted the online learning platform. As an international student in Canada, there are opportunities to work during and after studies, which might be a very key consideration. And Canada also has a number of immigration-friendly policies that support pathways to permanent residency. For example, through the Postgraduation Work Permit (PGWP), graduates from certain post-secondary schools are able to get valuable work experience in Canada that can help them to qualify for permanent residency in Canada. Thank you. Over to you, Kat.
Thank you so much for your inputs, Bhaiya. I hope students will find them useful in their academic journey. Thank you so
I
much.
hope so. Thank you.
Moving forward, I would like to invite Mr. Rahul Messi, International Procurement Manager, India Asia, Canberra University. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rahul.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me here.
Good evening. So I have some questions for you, like earlier. If I may move forward with my question, my first question to you is, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about studying in Canada?
It's a good question. There are a lot of misconceptions. There are a few that I can outline. The very first one, the biggest one, I would say, is people think that going to Toronto or going to Vancouver is the only option to be successful in Canada, which is not the case. People also think that it is impossible to study in Canada also from the developing countries. Some people also think that it is not affordable to study in Canada, which is not true. And then there are some people who think that there are universities are better than the other universities, which is not true. So yeah, these are the misconceptions that are amongst into these in the development nation here where we are. Over to you.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Now moving to the next question. Can you share if your institution provides with scholarship opportunities to the students?
Good question again. Unfortunately, at this point, we don't have any scholarship available, but we do have a very competitive tuition fees at this point. compared to other universities. Our fees are very affordable. As So if we talk about our master's program, we have two master's program, and our 2-year master's program, which is Masters of Management, is only approximately $17,000 per year. So if you compare that to other universities where minimum you have to pay over $25,000. So if you compare that to these universities, it's quite cheap. So coming back to your original question, that if we have any scholarship at this point, we don't have any scholarship. But but in future, if we have something like that, we will definitely put it into our website.
Thank you, Haya. And my last question to you is, what would be your top 3 tips for aspiring students to study in Canada?
Again, it's a really good question. I always recommend our student to plan way beforehand. This is the best technique that they can have to be successful. That's the very first thing that I think. And then be well organized. That's the second thing. And the third thing is that use the resources that the university provide, because especially in our university, if we talk about Crandall University, we have a lot of useful resources for our students, which students don't realize it. Like, we have the best library, we have the best student success. If the student is struggling in some of the programs, we have special section where where they can go and get help. And problem is, especially in our nation, we feel ashamed of asking help from other people. And but we have at our university, or any university in Canada, we have a student success department created for our students, like from these developing countries where we have a language barriers. They help for no cost. There's no cost to if they need any help or any tuition or anything like that. So these are the tips that I think they should take. Over to you.
Thank you so much for your input, Mr. Rahul. I hope students will find them useful in the long run.
Thank you.
Now, we would like to take some questions from our audience. They have let us know through our contact. Moving forward, I'm taking some questions. You can answer from your relevant fields. Okay, so Ms. Mohammad Fokrul Hassan wanted to know GRE, GMAT, IELTS research. How should students of these different sectors apply? Who might take the question to answer?
At Crandall, we do not need any GRE scores or GMAT. We only accept IELTS scores of 6.5, not less than 6.0. So if anybody who wants to take our master's program, they only need IELTS.
Okay. Okay, I hope Mohammad Fokrul got his answer. And then Mr. Asif Ahmed wanted to know how SCB is helping students, abroad students. Okay, so I think Borsha Apu can answer this question. Is Borsha Apu here? Borsha Apu, could you get the question, or should I repeat it to you? I think Bosha post connection got lost. Okay, she's here again. Bosha, am I
Hi,
audible to
Kia.
you?
Yes, yes. Am
Apu,
I audible?
yes, you are. I am repeating the question to you that Asif Ahmed asked how SCB is helping students abroad.
Well, as I already mentioned that before moving to abroad for higher studies, student need to open a student file with any of the bank in Bangladesh. However, if any student already started their education in abroad and they want to open a student file for themselves,
I think Boshapu's connection dropped again. So meanwhile, we could take another question. Okay, she's back again. Apu, you can continue.
hi, hi, I'm
Apu, you can
audible.
continue. Yes, you are audible. You can
Yes,
continue with your
yes.
answer.
Yes. So at a certain point of time, if a student already started their education in a foreign country, in a foreign university, feel the necessity of getting some fund out of the country, out of Bangladesh, they can contact with us, they can communicate with us. And at that point of time, we can also open a student file for them. So we have those kind of facilities, as well as we can also offer the loan facilities, the credit card facilities for the parents who want to send their children abroad.
Okay, let's wait a minute for Boshapu. She rejoin again. I think she's here.
So to continue with the answer, I would also request the person who has asked the question to please communicate with us, please contact with us. We can talk in person and get all the details so that we can advise him for a beautiful solution.
Thank you for your answer, Apu. I hope Asif got his answer. Now, looking forward to our next question. Um, is there any kinds of loan facility from Standard Chartered Bank? Apu, you can move forward with the answer.
My network is going to kill me today, I guess. To continue with the answer, yes, we have personal loan facility, we have secured overdraft facility against fixed deposit, wage earner development bond. So these are the loan we can provide to the sponsor of the students after going through all the usual procedure for giving a loan. So we can help student also by giving this loan to their sponsor or their parents who is actually a income who is having a annual income or a regular income. So uh, these are the banking terms actually. So that's it.
That's wonderful. It was very I hope it was informative for Asif. And then we're gonna take some few more questions. Sabira Hawk asked that is it possible to open student file from abroad? Washabu, you can go with the answer.
Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is absolutely possible to open student file from abroad. They just need to communicate with us and give their details. We will take the rest of the things moving forward from there.
That was the answer. And then another question is from Shuon Kanti Singha. He asked, can I open SCV student file in Narayanganj branch? Again, it was a question to Bosha Apu. Let us wait for her for a minute.
Can you please repeat the question again?
Yeah, Mr. Shuman wanted to know that if can I open SCB student file in Narayanganj branch?
Absolutely. Student file can be opened from Narayanganj branch. Mr. Shuman can contact with us over our contact center number. He can mail us, or he can also visit to the branch for getting all the information.
Okay, I hope Mr. Shuman got his answer too. Then let's see if we have another question. Yeah. Ujjal Mistry asked, Sir, I am interested to know about the post graduation facilities with scholarship in Canada. Would you like to share it, sir? Who is going to? I think Mr. Rahul could answer this.
Hi, Ujjal. As I said earlier, that I don't have any scholarship available at this point, but our tuition fees are quite competitive compared to other universities. So I don't think you will be needing any scholarship at this point because $17,000 per year is quite cheap as compared to other universities. Our Masters of Management program is a 2-year program with internship. 3 years in class. Last semester will be internship, and yeah, it's a 2-year program with 3-year postgraduate permit. So if you're interested, you can contact our team here.
Yes, sir. I am interested. The same question, Mr. Ghulam Farhad. Would you like to say anything about the same question? Same thing
Thank you.
about the scholarship.
Thank you. About the scholarship, I already shared about the information which government scholarships are available for the Bangladeshi students. So they can always avail this information from the educanada.ca website, what is available and where, how they can apply for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then we have another question. Khurshid Alam asked, is Standard Chartered Bank provide personal loan directly to study? I mean, self-defending students. Washapi, could you please answer this question?
Can you please repeat the question once again?
Yeah, sure. The question is Standard Chartered Bank provide personal loan directly to study? I mean, self-defending student.
Well, as I already mentioned, that we actually provide loan facility to the sponsor of the student, basically the guardians. We will be present at the country. We will be resident Bangladeshi. When the student will be moving outside of the country, they will be non-resident Bangladeshi. They will be categorized under that non-resident Bangladeshi category. So as a bank, we actually cannot provide loans to non-resident Bangladeshi. So it would be advisable for anyone to apply for loan on behalf of the parents so that we can easily give it to them.
Thank you so much for the answer. Moving forward, there is this another question from Shumon. He asked, how can we contact with Canberra University representative? So, Mr. Rahul, would you like to say anything about it?
You can always contact the team here, and they can contact us, or you can always email at india@crandallu.ca, and we can email you back. That's the best way to contact us.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Rahul. Let's see if we have other questions. Yeah, Mahmoud Hassan Ronnie asked, how student file will help for study in Canada? Moving forward to Cynthia.
Yes. Student file is actually the only legal media through which a student can remit foreign currency out of Bangladesh for paying.
I just wanted to add something. Crandall University have admissions office in Kerala, India, and we have a representative called Krati Chaube. She is my admissions director here in India. She will be taking care of all the admission need for you guys for Bangladeshi applications. So if you need anything to do with admissions, Kia, you will contact her directly. You don't need me or anybody at campus. You contact her directly. So if any of your students need any help or anything like that, you can direct them to Krati.
So I hope Mr. Shumon, who asked the question, got his answer elaboratively. So again, Ms. Barsha Apu, you can carry on with your previous question's answer. Barsha Apu, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. My network is giving me a lot of trouble today. I'm very sorry for all the disturbance.
No worries, Apu. You can carry on with the previous question. Should I
Yes.
repeat it to you?
No, it's all right. As I was mentioning that Student File is the only legal channel through which a student or a person who wants to study abroad can remit the fund, the foreign currency out of Bangladesh. So without opening Student File, this process of paying tuition fees or living expense would be very much difficult for that person. So
Let's wait for Barsha Apu to rejoin. Our network is giving us much trouble today.
should I
Carry
continue
on.
with the answer?
Yeah, please do.
Yes, as I was saying, to ease up all this payment procedure to pay tuition fees, taking the living expense along with the journey, it is always advisable to open student file, because otherwise it will be very much difficult for the students to carry forward his or her journey for achieving their dreams, achieving their aims of higher studies.
I think that was it, right? The answer was. Okay, so Apu, I think that was it, your answer, right? Was there anything to add more?
Yes, yes. No, that was it actually.
Okay, thank you so much for all your answers and participation in the question answer session. So, and with that, we have come to the end of our today's session. Hopefully, this session was beneficial and informative for the academic journey of the students. In fact, students need to be informed, strategic, and follow the experts' guideline to reach their destination. And of course, I would like to convey my heartiest appreciation to our panelists for their time and valuable inputs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's about it for today. Take care and stay safe.